There was a time in my life when a film's release was something special. I think back to the magic of wading through the ads to 1999's Tarzan, only to be blown out of my mind by the tiniest tease. The screen was white and hundreds of familiar green men squeaked their way into the frame. Suddenly, one of them shouted, "It is coming! It is coming!" Were my eyes deceiving me? Was this going to be a rug pull after getting my hopes up? Then the claw came down from the heavens to reveal a typeface I knew all too well. Could it be? Were the rumours true? Surely enough, the claw returned and my suspicions were confirmed. There was a Toy Story 2! That was all I needed. As soon as my parents would take me, I was there, 100% on board. And before I knew it, the teaser was over. For all I knew, I would never see it again. But that brief moment had a lasting impression. It built the anticipation like nothing else could. I wasn't even entirely sure. I hadn't imagined the whole thing. One thing I knew for sure, the excitement was real. "20 years have passed and I've considerably changed my tune. What can you expect, what with the added layers of cynicism that time inevitably brings? But the crucial difference here isn't necessarily a lack of a childlike sense of wonder or any other victim at the hands of a mature opinion. The main party at fault here is the 20-year evolution of a little thing called the internet. You see, teasers and previews are no longer merely delegated to pre-show cinema entertainment. With the advent of YouTube, trailers can be watched, rewatched, rewound, paused, and slow-motioned as many times as we might desire. We can piece the images together in our mind, analyze, and interpret to our heart's content. There are even channels dedicated to formulating theories based on the mere morsels of footage we've been given. Now, as much as this all may be in the name of harmless fun, for me, it represents the risk of a larger problem. One which has undoubtedly affected my enjoyment of various film releases across the years. If I were to give it a name, I would call it the movie bingo sheet generator. Well, what on earth am I talking about? The movie bingo sheet generator is a conceptual machine built from the combination of educated guesses, specific desires, and built-up unrealistic expectations. On the day of the film's viewing, the spectator watches with a freshly printed mental copy of the film's bingo sheet. If the right boxes are crossed off, the film is a success. If not, we storm back to the internet with an unrelenting rage and the shaking fist of grammar-free comments. Well, that's in more severe cases. Now, more often than not, it's the way in which we watch trailers that provides the fuel for these machines. Unfortunately, they usually feed on the unsustainable fuel of over-speculation and internet hype. With the permanent nature of a film trailer's presence on the internet, it's almost as if it's begging for a rewatch. In fact, film studios heavily rely on this factor for their product to rise in popularity and exposure. What this generally means is that people are watching, rewatching, rewinding, pausing, and analysing this promotional material frame by frame. This is where the speculation and theories begin. It's where people start forming ideas of what they want those specific images to mean. It's also where people start to become very attached to their own specific desires and fears. So much so that they start to form a wall between themselves and the reality of the film itself. The fact is, we can dive so deep into this world of hype that we leave the film in a no-win scenario. If the film fails to match our specific expectations, it sucks. On the flip side, if it confirms any of our theories, it means the film is too predictable. In other words, it still sucks. But of course I'm still referring to those extreme cases whose nonsensical bile still gets its undue representation in the YouTube comment section. But this excited, repeated viewing can still tarnish the movie-going experience of those of us who are less attached to our own ideas. Promotional material usually works its magic via the means of striking imagery. The more striking the imagery, the more memorable the moment. Now by the 10th viewing of that 2-minute trailer, the audience has at least 4 or 5 striking images burned into their retinas. Curiosity has been awoken. What is the context of these images within the film? Why are they so gosh darn striking? A seed has been planted. The seed of anticipation. Although everything is still vague at this point, that anticipation is going to grow and grow and grow. In fact, it's going to keep growing until your butt's in that theatre and the movie studio has your sweet, sweet money. But what happens if that striking visual, the one that you've waited months to see fully realised on screen, never materializes. You're going to feel a bit cheated. On the other hand, what if the moment does arrive? You're probably going to think to yourself, yeah, that was pretty cool, if only I hadn't seen it 20 times already. This, friends, is the problem with trailers. Regardless of what they may reveal about the film's plot, they still have the ability to affect our film-going experience. So why do we so eagerly fall into the trap? Why do we allow ourselves to be caught in the web of the hype machine? Can't we just save all that juicy imagery for the first time we see the film? I, for one, have made up my mind. The first trailer for Star Wars Episode 9 dropped only a couple of weeks ago, and I still haven't seen it. You know what? I'm not going to. In fact, the next time I go to the movies and I see that Lucasfilm logo, I'm just going to close my eyes and cover my ears. Is it because I saw The Last Jedi and I decided I hate Disney? No, I am keen for this movie. I'm so keen that I'm giving the filmmakers a blank slate. Whatever this last Star Wars movie is, I want to enter it completely fresh. No striking imagery, no preconceived expectations, no trail of stale breadcrumbs to lead me to its release. And if after all of this, you're convinced, join me. But seriously guys, there's no way Raylo is going to happen. Wait, does this count as speculating?